So this is the Infinix Note 8. 5 months ago, Infinix released the Infinix Note 7, which we did a teardown of here on the channel. And as at this point, almost 200,000 of you have seen that video. I want to say thank you very much. So today we are going to do a teardown of the Infinix Note 8. But this time they released two different devices, which is the Infinix Note 8 and the Infinix Note 8i. The Note 8i is the more price friendly of the two. So if you wanted something that is almost the same as the Note 8, but you want to spend less, you might want to go for the Note 8i. Honestly, everything is almost the same, just very tiny differences here and there amongst the two devices. So you're going to get up to 6 gigs of RAM on the Note 8, and then you get up to 4 gigs of RAM on the Note 8i. While the Note 8 has 128 gigabytes inbuilt memory, the Note 8i has 64 gigabytes. Both devices run on the MediaTek Helio G80 chipset, and then you get 5200 mAh battery on both devices, 720p display on both devices. You get a 64 megapixel quad camera setup on the Note 8. You get 16 megapixel dual selfie cameras. While on the Note 8i, you get a 48 megapixel quad camera setup. Then you get a single 8 megapixel front-facing camera. So those are just the differences between the two devices. But for the teardown proper, we're going to be focusing on the Note 8, which is the main device. Now, one thing I got to warn you here is that the Note 8 is a very, very large device. Like, this thing is so tall, it's 6.9 inches. It makes my iPhone XR looks like a dwarf. So if you know your palms are not really big and you can't really handle very large devices, then you might want to avoid this device and maybe get something smaller. And another thing here you got to know is that this device still comes with Infinix XOS, and XOS still comes with a lot of bloatwares and a lot of junks. So if you're buying this device, it's part of the package, all right? And one thing I was thinking we're going to get on the Note 8 is the 90 Hz refresh rate that comes on the 08, but that is not the case here. So this display is not really that smooth like that of the 08. It just lags a lot, so it's something you got to deal with. But if you want something that is a little bit more smoother, then you have to get the Infinix 08 instead. So as usual, I use a razor, create an incision by the side of the device, and then I use my plastic card to carefully try to remove the plastic back cover from the frame of the device. Occasionally, I will dip in the plastic card into some ethanol, which will help soften the adhesive that is gluing this plastic back cover to the frame of the device. Most repair technicians will use a heat gun for this kind of work, but this is plastic and plastic will always melt when it comes in contact with heat. So I usually don't use heat to do this, though it can still be done, it will be faster. But this way, once I do it, the plastic back doesn't expand, so I can actually couple the device back and it looks very, very normal. It took me just about 2 minutes to open this device. That is because I have a fair idea of what I was expecting inside, even though this is the first time I'm opening this device on camera. Infinix and Tecno phones are very similar the way they are coupled. So I already had a fair idea where that ribbon cable that controls the fingerprint reader is gonna be lying there. And if you watched my Note 7 teardown and my 08 teardown, you will actually know that, or you'll actually find out that they are all looking very similar from the inside. So after a few minutes, here you have it, the device was open. So here's the back cover we've been trying to remove. It is completely plastic. So even if this device falls from your hand, it's not gonna break. That is because plastic doesn't crack. Next up, we're going to carefully remove the screws that are holding the plastic frame to the entire carcass of the device. Before we remove the frame, let's take out the SIM tray. Now this is a dual SIM tray. It can take 2 micro SIM cards and 1 SD card. I don't have long nails, so I'm going to use my knife, create a space by the side of the device, then use my fingers and carefully lift up the frame off the carcass of the device. So the back frame is full of antennas from the inside, which enables the device get proper network when you are maybe in a place that doesn't have very good network coverage. And also, this fingerprint reader right here is the same kind of fingerprint reader that came in the Infinix 08 and also the Infinix Note 7. Coming back here to the main carcass of the device, you're going to notice that the camera arrangements are very weird, and also the camera sensors are so tiny for some reason which I don't know, but we're going to come to them in a short moment. So first of all, we're going to remove these two screws here that are holding the board to the frame of the device. Haven't done that, the next thing we're going to unclip the battery. Then I'm going to carefully lift up the board from the frame of the device, and also I'll unclip the network cable here. Then try to take out the board. Oops, I think I forgot to unclip the display, so I'm going to do that right away. So taking the board off the frame of the device gives you a clear look of how that camera arrangement looks like off the frame of the device. So unclipping these sensors from the board gives you a very clear look of how tiny these sensors are. These sensors are so tiny, they look like something that came out of a child's toy. Now, I don't actually know if they work or not, because it seems like all the work is being done by the main 64 megapixel main lens. Because I've tried to use these sensors to take pictures and do other things. I am not getting the result that they are supposed to give. Perhaps I guess I'm not using it well, or I'm not using it right, or probably I'm not holding the phone well. So if you're out there and you have an idea of how to make these sensors work or how to use them, don't forget to leave a comment down, okay? But for now, just know that they don't work. What basically works here is the main 64 megapixel lens. So going back now to the main board of the device, this is where the MediaTek Helio G80 lies. So we're going to peel off this aluminum foil here so that we can take a closer look at that chipset, right? So after carefully peeling off the aluminum foil, this is what the MediaTek Helio G80 looks like from the inside. One thing I've noticed here is that the cooling system of this device is not that aggressive, like it's just very formal. The aluminum foil that is covering the Helio G80T is very light, it's not thick compared to the one that is found inside the Infinix 08 that runs the MediaTek Helio G90T. So we're going to check the other carcass of the device to see if there is any cooling system going on there. So back here to the main carcass, we take off these screws here that are holding down the speaker, so we can actually check the kind of speaker that the device uses, alright? So there you go, it's just a single speaker firing from one side of the device. Getting back down to the other part of the device, we find the charging port here. It's a USB Type-C charging port which controls the mouthpiece, the network, and also the vibration of the device. Then next up here, that 5200 milliamp hour battery, we are going to try to remove it from the carcass of the device. So I'm trying to use the pull tabs here that Infinix added to enable you remove the battery easily. This thing just doesn't work. Like on other devices, I've tried to do it, and whenever I try to remove it, they just end up cutting. So I have to use my plastic card at the end of the day and try to remove the battery in another manner. Even on Samsung devices, this thing too is quite difficult to work. The only people or the only company that puts pull tabs on these devices that actually work is Apple. So this is a very large battery. It's 5200 milliamps, and trust me, I've used this device and I can actually say that this battery actually lives up to the expectation. Again, taking a closer look at this carcass, I was actually thinking I was gonna see maybe a copper heat pipe under this carcass and everything, but there is no copper heat pipe here, just some thermopaste, and that actually gives me concern because I don't know how well this device can handle gaming, because if you start gaming with this device and with the lack of a cooling system, and also owing to the fact that the device runs on the MediaTek Helio G80, which is a chipset that is a little bit fast and has the tendency to overheat, then it's going to be a problem. It calls for concern. So there you have it. The device doesn't have a proper cooling system. They just put the chipset there and then put in some demo paste around, and that's it. If you're new here, you haven't subscribed, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. All right, I have a lot planned out for us this week and the weeks that are coming, because we haven't done anything for a while. So right now, a lot of videos are coming your way, so please don't forget to subscribe. All right, thank you so much. I'll catch you again in the next one.